Namaste and welcome back to Grow with the Jan family. I'm Anjali. Hum ache hey, kaise hey up.
And today we're going to do Sadhguru on the Citizen Amendment Act and on the CAC on the protest. So a couple days ago I did a video on some of the violent protests that have been happening and the people that are against it but are not walking the streets protesting nicely. They're walking with baseball-sized rocks and throwing at the police, throwing it at buildings, destroying railway stations, burning things down. So just horrible, horrible. And talking jihad, like this is the kind of stuff that needs to stop. You're against it, okay, peaceful protest is one thing. We here at the Jan family are for this bill. We feel like India, in order to become the next great country, and it's coming up there, it's in sixth in the economy, it's going to keep growing and growing, and Modi has been doing so many great things. This is one of those things, like, you need to have illegals accountable for. These illegals are being prosecuted in the neighboring countries that used to be part of India. And so they need a safe haven to come and call home so that they're not being prosecuted. And they also need to be accounted for so the country knows who's in there, who's eating, who's paying taxes. Yeah, who's a criminal, who's not a criminal. Like, even when you sign up for Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, you have to write your name, your birth date, your address, your phone number. And, you know, you get stopped by the police here. They ask you for identification. They pull up everything. You know, they know who you're married to, who your car belongs to, where you live. Like, but they should know that. And, you know, we see these poor police officers with these sticks and, you know, a shield from the rocks. Like, they're the ones out there putting their lives on the line. I just heard from my husband that some of them got bullet wounds from these protesters. They need not a Raphael behind them. They need a gun in their pocket so they can defend themselves and the people so that nobody gets hurt from this. People shouldn't be violently protesting, one, but for two, the police need to be able to put full force behind and stop it so nobody gets hurt and the damages don't get done like they have been. So we're going to watch Sadhguru. He has quite some knowledge and I enjoy listening to him, so I'm going to see what he has to say about the Amendment Act.
The vehemence with which people are fighting, I was wondering, did I miss something? I think in a very calibrated way, somebody sent the message to the minorities that your citizenship is under threat. This lie did fly for the last 1 week, now it's landed.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. Sadhguru, there is a lot of turmoil in the nation regarding CAA and NRC. I am confused and many of us do not even know what to make out of it.
Where did you come from?
I am from Lucknow.
Oh.
And there is so much going on.
Yeah, I know, Lucknow people are confused.
Sadhguru, I wanted to know your thoughts on this.
My thoughts, CAB became CAA, a bill became an act. Well, looking at last 1 week's reactions on the street, I even wondered, have I missed something really? Have I missed some aspect of it? Because I have not read the act fully, I only know it from the newspapers and whatever else is there generally out there. Considering that many explanations that are being put out. See, this was one land, got divided about 72 years ago. Terrible things happened. Nearly 600,000–700,000 people got killed, 3 to 4 million people migrated from both sides, going through enormous suffering. And the country, at least one part, not India, the other two parts that happened, happened on religious basis. People divided the land on religious basis. Fortunately, we chose to be a secular
Yes.
nation, but the others chose to
Makes
be,
India great.
Yep.
religious republics. But not everybody changed sides, because people have been living there for millennia. Not everybody will leave their property, their life, their everything and travel just because the nation… somebody drew a line. 72 years ago, a whole lot of people did not understand what this line meant, really. So quite substantial number of them stayed back. There's a lot of debate about percentages. I'm not an expert on this either. They say 23% stayed back in West Pakistan and nearly 30% stayed back in East Pakistan. That's what people say. Because nobody has perfect numbers, I believe, but it's somewhere around that, it can't be totally wrong. But then 1971 war happened and East Pakistan became Bangladesh. Then widespread persecution of the minorities happened. At that time, nearly 18 to 19% of the people left and came back to the Indian side. They got mixed up. There was no proper arrangement, they just gotten mixed up with the local population. Some of them are still in refugee camps, unfortunately. That's the situation in India. The situation on the other side is different. Because by law there is discrimination against the minorities. Here also people will claim there is discrimination, but not by law. Individual people may
Not by
always
law.
discriminate against each other, which is there in every nation on some basis, for race, religion, caste, creed,
Unfortunately.
gender. All kinds of discriminations exist, unfortunately, in most societies on the planet. We are not completely antiseptic to that. We also have our share of discriminatory practices, but not by law. In the eyes of the law, all citizens of India are just same. There is no two ways about it.
Yep.
Social practices, not everything catches up with the constitution. Everybody plays their own little game here and there for different reasons. Political reasons, social reasons, economic reasons, variety of things. But on the other side, by law, there are discriminations, which
That's crazy.
by law, women are seriously discriminated on various levels. By law, almost all the minorities are discriminated. Just day before yesterday, a professor has been given a death sentence for blasphemy because he wrote something online which the religion does not like. Such things are not possible in this country, okay? Socially, there may be repercussions, that is there everywhere in the world, but not by law. I was in Baku, in Azerbaijan. 164 Pakistani Hindus were visiting Baku because Baku has a fire temple which is over 5,000 to 6,000 years old. With all Sanskrit inscriptions, Indian people have been traveling to this fire temple. It is called the Agni Kashi. So those who want to do sadhana on fire because of natural gas, naturally on the land, there are points where fire is burning or is been burning forever. So they built a nice temple around that, and this is a place where people go to do sadhana, largely to die, the last part of their life. They want to go there and spend. For thousands of years, they've been going there. So now, in India, we've completely forgotten about the Baku temple, the fire temple, but the Pakistani Hindus are still going there. So 164 of them came. Well, on that day I had to take 164 photographs with each one of them. and then families, and then friends and groups, and totally 200 pictures in one evening. Then one of them, a young man, maybe around 30, maybe 32, 33 years of age, came to me crying bitterly, and he said he was married for 2.5 years. One day, 10, 12 people came, thrashed him, picked up his wife and went away. And that evening, they got her married to another man of another religion.
It's crazy.
And that evening, she's with him.
Terrible.
2.5 years, he was married to her, they're close together. Now forcefully they take her, and he cannot. Police won't take complaint, he cannot go to court because Hindu marriage is not legal in Pakistan. Can you beat it?
What?
I was
That's
just
crazy.
surprised that there is such a law.
Oh my God.
I have not made a study of it, I must check this out, somebody must check this out properly.
Why?
But I inquired and a few other people confirmed it is so. I'm not 100% on this, but this man's plight is real. That they pick up his wife, take her away, that evening they get her married to somebody else and she's supposed to live with him that evening. Because his marriage is not valid, because he's gone through a Hindu ritual. He has not gone through the rituals that the other religions are propagating. So his marriage is not valid. So people have been going through these kind of things, so a trickle of people, slowly when they get overly frustrated, they can't live there, they've been coming for last few decades. In my opinion, CAA is too little compassion coming too late. Because the atrocities that they have gone through, there are statistics saying they had this many 100 temples, now there are only this many, because systematically it has all been demolished so that there is no places of prayer or worship for other religions. This is happening for all religions, not for any one specific religion, because the fundamental belief is that the nation belongs to one religion. That is not the case with India, fortunately. Here, everybody can practice whatever, propagate whatever, everything is there.
Secular nation.
So CAA is not bringing any new people. See, we are populated, all right, even here. We are well populated. So we don't need millions of people coming from another country, no matter what is the situation there. We can't go on taking people. So some cut-off date was fixed as per the Assam Accord, 1972 or 71 was something was fixed, because that is the time when huge influx happened. A genocide which killed 3 million people. 3 million Hindus were killed just before Bangladesh got liberated. So at that time, a massive influx of people happened. So local people started protesting because their culture is being overrun by refugees. The refugee population is bigger than the local population in Assam, so they have always been protesting. You know the whole Assam movement in 70s. So there they made an accord that we will identify all the foreigners and send them back or do something, redistribute them, whatever. That never happened because people who made that accord, they only signed the paper, they did not act. So now the cut-off date is 2014. Those who have come before that, that means they've been living in this country for 10, 20 years without a driving license, without a passport, without a ration card, without an Aadhaar card, without any kind of identity, like animals. There's no human identity in this country. Because of this controversy, should we accept them or not accept them? Now you make up your mind and say, till 2014, whoever has come, we will accept them. But looking at the reaction in the country, it amazes me, are we this hard-hearted that somehow for whatever reasons. But this bill is only focused on religious persecution. You may have some other trouble and you want to come here, that's not allowed. You may be looking for economic opportunities, you cannot come. If you want to come, there is a separate channel for that. Anybody can apply for Indian citizenship and go through the normal process of law.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like in any other nation, even in India, you can apply for Indian citizenship, go through the normal process irrespective of your religion, you can come into India. This is a block acceptance of citizenship. This is for those people who have been living here 2014 means they've been here for at least over 7 years. Most of them over 15–20 years. Well, looking at the reaction on the street, the vehemence with which people are fighting, I was wondering, did I miss something? Am I not getting something here? But since in the last 24 hours I looked up a few things, this is all it is. And everybody knows that's all it is. Now slowly everybody is changing their stance and saying, no, we are reacting because of police atrocity. Nobody… See, one thing is, it looks like the government was caught napping because they didn't expect such a big reaction for such a simple issue. So they didn't put up enough police on the streets. So police got really thrashed badly in most places, brutally.
Yeah. And with their sticks.
So,
Yeah.
when a few thousand people corner 25 policemen and thrash them, naturally when the bigger force comes, they are going to do some things. I'm not trying to justify anything. This is the reality that we have seen in the last 8 days. And now everybody is changing their stance and saying, no, it's not that… we never said it's religious discrimination, it is just police should not enter the university. But university students can behave like quarry workers, and from inside the university they're throwing stones at everybody.
No.
Yes, they should.
And police should not go and stop them. When they go, well, if she's throwing stones and she is not, both will get beaten, unfortunately, because she's sitting next to her. This is the way it works in the crowd, huh? Will they go out and point out only she was throwing, others were not throwing? It doesn't work like that. All of them who are sitting together, everybody gets beaten. But I think they didn't use their firepower. That is a lot of restraint, otherwise people would have died in big numbers. Lucknow, where you come from, there are 56 policemen
It's crazy.
who have bullet injuries.
I mean, it's
Where did the
not
bullets
okay.
come from? Lucknowi people.
Yeah.
What are
Came
you up
from
to?
the terrorists.
Police
don't
have
even
bullet
have guns.
injuries. What does it say, unfortunately? So, this is a dangerous game people are playing. I think there is a certain desperation among certain people who misinformed illiterate masses of religious groups who went wild thinking that the local Indian Muslims will
it's
lose their
not
citizenship.
against
That's what they conveyed.
Indian Muslims.
It's not.
They sent out a message saying,
It's against
they are
terrorists.
discriminating and all of you will lose your citizenship and they will throw you out. This is… well, such mischief should not have worked on the scale that it worked. It should not have. It's unfortunate. Still, in today's day and age where you can just open up your phone and read the act, what does it say? What does the CAA say? Any student can read it, but all of them are coming and behaving like illiterate people. They're studying in premier universities, and how come they can't read the damn act? It's really sad that such a thing can happen, that nobody reads the act, everybody goes by the
WhatsApp.
rumors that are going on.
That's not your source of
WhatsApp is their
knowledge.
source of knowledge, okay? I hope they're not doing any PhD on WhatsApp. It's really terrible
Yeah.
that public property is burned and destroyed. Ordinary people's
Railway
scooters and
stations.
cars and shops
Crazy.
being
Yeah, for
absolutely
what?
vandalized like this, for what? Because once the crowds go into a frenzy state, nobody knows why they're doing what they're doing, everybody's doing something. I think in a very calibrated way, somebody sent the message to the minorities that your citizenship is under threat, which is an absolute lie. Unfortunately, it did fly. This lie did fly for the last 1 week, now it's landed, now people know it's not, so they're trying to find different reasons why we did what we did. It's very unfortunate. You also want NRC? You're determined to get me into trouble. See, there is an NRC in every nation. It may not be done in this format. What NRC means is every citizen must be registered. All those who are living in this country must be registered. When we are trying to…
All our dogs have an
in
ownership
Coimbatore city,
license.
there was an attempt to register
thing.
all the dogs which have some ownership.
Right.
I'm saying, the idea is we must know how many dogs, otherwise we don't know what will happen. Because some children were killed by packs of dogs, loose dogs, street dogs, out there attacking school children and eating them up. Killed.
Yeah.
So then somebody suggested, all those who have some ownership, they must have a tag and they must be registered. Their birth and death must be registered. When we are thinking on these lines, we want even dogs to be registered. Is it not important how many human beings are there in this country? Where did they come from? Were they born here? Did they come from outside? What is their antecedents? Is it not important for a nation to know this if you want to conduct this nation properly? But some people think that is also
religion,
discriminatory.
Yeah.
Class.
This is for everybody. All of us, you and me, will have to register. Now, they are giving you various options, you produce your birth certificate, people say we don't have. You show the school footprint, no, I never went to school. You show the ration card, no, I don't have it. Show the Aadhaar card, I don't have it.
Do you exist?
Show the election registration card, I don't have it. Then who the hell are you? And if you don't have any of these things, they're saying produce 3 witnesses who
How
know
have you gotten along this far
for a period
with
of time. No, I don't have witnesses. Who are you? It is just probably, I think in some way, for whatever reasons, I think the government has failed to communicate this properly. Otherwise, personally, I don't see one issue on these things. But I think communication-wise, the way it is communicated, unfortunately, certain number of people are perceiving it as a threat to them. That must definitely change. If anybody is issuing a threat through these two most essential, one is of some compassion coming very late, in my opinion,
Yeah.
it should
And
have
if you're
happened
already registered,
much
you
before.
have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Another is an absolute necessity for a nation to register every citizen who lives in this country. See, there are so many foreigners here, we don't know who they are. Yes, we should know where they come from and why they have come, isn't it? In any nation, that's a fact. So, such a simple thing, I think, was lack of proper communication, and people took advantage of it and made sure it was miscommunicated.
Which is sad, because they're the ones studying.
Illiterate youth in the universities went wild.
Yeah, Sadhguru has it right. I do think somebody somewhere took it the wrong way and it just spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
And now, he's saying people are trying to be like, oh, we weren't fighting for that, we were fighting for something else, like making a different excuse for the reason for all the rioting.
Like, what else
that
would you be
happened.
fighting for?
Yeah. But if you were here, it's not… If you already have citizenship of India, you have nothing to worry about.
No.
These are people that were prosecuted in neighboring countries that came here when there was a big influx of them coming because they didn't want to die or be prosecuted or killed or converted in these other countries, came here and been living in India for the last 7, 10, 20 years, some of them. And so trying to make them accountable. They know they came in when they needed, and they should have been done a long time ago. And so now they're doing it. So if you already are a citizen of India, it's not against you.
No, it's not.
And it's not opening the doors for everybody under the sun to come in. If you have papers and you are already an Indian citizen, there's nothing for you to worry about.
No.
If you can prove a driver's license, a voter registration card, one of the many things, and even that, Sadhguru said, even if you have 3 people that can vouch for you, that know you lived in that neighborhood for the last 5 years, that's been your neighbor, that's known your wife, bring them and they can be your voucher for you. But if you don't have any of that, then who are you? And why are you here? So in order to run a good country, you need to know who's in your country.
Yeah.
For crime reasons, for economic reasons, you need people to be accountable for tax reasons. You open up a Facebook account, they need to know your address, your phone number, your name. They won't let you, make anything up. Anything you do nowadays, you have to have some accountability for.
Yeah.
They need to know who you are. And it's not, to be nosy. It's because they need to know for security reasons, for tax reasons. There's a lot of reasons behind it. India, you're the next big country. You're like number 5 or number 6 right now economically. You're going to be number 3 very soon. You're going to be up there. And you have to have some accountability for that. But good leadership also needs to come behind this, because people didn't understand this bill. And so I think that's kind of what started the rioting.
Yeah.
They didn't understand the basis behind it. They thought it was against their religion. They thought it was against, their own citizenship. And it's not. It's to already get the people that have been there accountable for, and it has nothing to do with if you're already a citizen, and it's not against anybody else. So it's not letting anybody else in, it's not opening the doors up, but it's saying the people that have already been there for 7, 10, 15 years can stay, but everybody else needs to come in the way they should. Apply and come in the right way. This should have been done a while ago, like Sadhguru said. The people that have... And so this is for their own good. And to make them accountable for being in India for as long as they have, to have them say, like, this is my job, this is where I live, this is where I work, this is my family, so that they know who they are and who's in the country. Big country. We all do it everywhere. So the big leaders need to help Modi and stand behind this. And also let your community know what is really this bill about, so that you're not having all these riots, rock throwing and stuff. Awasi is, you need to let your community know and be a great leader. APJ Kalam, like, these are the times that you need to stand up and say, this is not against religion. This is for the country. You need to stand behind your country, keep the religion at home. This is not about beautiful secular country.
Yeah. Another thing is that police officers shouldn't just have sticks or shields. They should have something bigger, like guns. They shouldn't just have sticks, because that's not going to really protect them from anything.
No. Yeah.
Like, these terrorists that come in have big guns.
AK-47s.
Yeah.
Like big guns. And, you go up to them and with a stick and a shield, you're pretty much a dead meat.
Yeah.
And, we did hear, now this is the first time I heard that some of the police officers were shot. So, and I know guns are not like a norm in India like they are here in the U.S. So we know somebody who got them, I would consider them terrorists, because they're like black market guns. They're not, everyday kind of guns. But the police should have guns. Like, they shouldn't be running away from baseball-sized rocks with a stick and a shield. Like, they need to kind of stop. And I don't want force, but sometimes you need to show the big guns before people realize you're serious.
Yeah.
And the people that are writing, you should know what you're writing for. Like, read the bill, find the information out. Don't listen to all the crap, you know.
Don't listen
it's
to
like
gossiping.
telephone. Yeah, don't listen to the gossip. Find out for yourself, because you're going out in the streets. Once people start, like Sadhguru said, once you start doing it, you get kind of caught up in the fire of it. And you don't even remember what started you in the first place to go out there and throw the stones. So don't get yourself in trouble if you don't have to be. And if you need to fight for something, do it in a peaceful manner.
Yeah.
You know, but this is a bill that needs the country's support. This is about India. This is not about religion. This is about your country. Put your country first.
Yes.
Don't ask your country what handouts they can give you. Ask what you can do for your country. That is how it should be. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Sadhguru video.
And don't forget to subscribe.
And join our wonderful Jan family.